Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, I want to go over why LifePath 8s are not the richest life path. Now, everybody in numerology, when you first study numerology, you get the basic, archetypes of each life path, like 1 being the leader, 3s being funny, creative, 4s being hard workers, 6s being family people, 7s being spiritual, and you get 8s that's supposed to be the money number. So I want to give a bit of advice to 8s today on a Saturn day. I want to give you guys a bit of advice. You're not going to be the richest if you're on the wrong side of karma, for one. That's the main reason 8s aren't the richest life path. When I did a video a couple weeks back talking about the richest life paths, 8 wasn't even like nearly on that list. Like it was like 7s, 5s, the 13 over 4 was extreme. We all know that. So the 8, the reason it doesn't dominate that realm is because, for one, you have to be on the right side of karma. You have to make sure that the way you accumulate your money is actually karmically correct. You're not scamming people. You're not hurting anybody. You're not doing anything that would go against your principles as a person, just using common sense, right? So that's the main thing, is that 8s a lot of times will do things that will belittle themselves, and they'll end up putting themselves in a karmic situation to have what you call bad luck. It's not really bad luck. It's that you actually did something wrong, and now you have to pay the consequences of that. In other 8 videos, I've actually gone ahead and went more into that in respects to what your relationship with karma is going to be like. If you're an 8, you actually get karma faster than any other life path. And this is what makes you guys, or us, I should say, I'm a life path 8 too, very extreme. So like if you're a life path 8 and you do good things, you'll develop a lot of good things will happen in your life randomly for you as well. You'll have good luck. If you do bad things, the same thing will happen. A lot of bad things will befall you right away. That's the thing. So it's the 2 circles, right? It's the loops. You have to understand how that works. It's mind over matter, yes, but it's also the spirituality with the materialism, but then also one hand washes the other. If you're going to do something wrong, the wrong things are going to happen to you. If you do correct things and do the right righteous movements, righteous things will happen to you and you'll have abundance. It's really as simple as that, but there's more to it than that too. The 8s, another big thing is that you guys actually think that like your life path is about money, when it has nothing to do with money at all. It has everything to do with self-actualization, because what you have to understand is that numerology has been around since biblical times and since times before Caesar. So if that's the case, then what was the 8 about? Because money didn't exist. 8 has always been about self-actualization and self-improvement. Saturn is a very strict disciplinarian and tactician. Saturn wants us to actually be the best version of ourselves by cutting out all vices, by being disciplined with the way in which we live our lives, being very regimented. And it's a very cold taskmaster, Saturn. So you have to be sort of similar to your planet. You have to be similar to your governor. I'm not saying you have to be cold, but you got to be cold within yourself, meaning you have to look at things very binary. Either I won or I didn't. Either I did the right thing or I didn't. It's very binary like that. And the more you start looking at life in that sort of, not saying black and white perspective, but putting yourself to a higher criteria than other people, you'll have an easier time. You think when you're an 8, oh, I'm supposed to just get money. That's just one part of it. 8s, but people never realize 8s can build muscle fast in any other life path too. And fat. Everything else. So that's the thing. Anything 8s put their energy into is going to come back to them twice as fast as any other life path, and I argue almost including master numbers and karmic debt numbers, who I also allude to as being very, very karmically related. So they have a lot of things that happen to them that are very extreme. When you're an 8 life path, you have to understand that there's 2 options that you've been born to an 8 life path with as well. This is another glitch that nobody ever really talks about. You got to look at what your expression number was, and then if you have a karmic debt expression number and you're a life path 8, you're in for a very hard life. That's like me. So I have a 14 over 5. That means I was overindulging in my freedom, not using my time correctly in a prior life, because I was a life path 5. So I had the good life, a life of freedom. So the 8's here now to restrain me by giving me different, even genetic defects, just a harder time learning in school at first. The list will go on, right? A lot of problems with authority. The list will always go on. But for everybody, it's going to be the same thing. If you have a karmic debt number and then you're a life path 8, meaning karmic debt is your expression number, you're a life path 8, your life's going to be a lot harder than everybody else around you. You're going to have to get things in a slower pace, and you got to put more effort in. So it's almost like the 8's gifts is the gift it's going to give you is struggle. It's going to make you struggle, but you're going to develop skill sets that are going to make you devour your competition altogether. So that's what you have to always remember when you're an 8 and things don't seem to be going your way all the time. If you don't have a karmic debt number as an expression number, then you're in for a pretty neutral time with the 8, meaning you're going to be in for the karmic balance of it, meaning if you do good things will happen. You do bad things will happen. It'll happen quickly. When you have it, like I said, with the karmic debt number, you can do good things, but the good things that will have to come to you will be slow. But if you do bad things, the bad things that will come to you will be quite quick. So you have to be very, very righteous and very careful when you're a life path with an expression number that's karmic debt. If you have a master number, meaning 11, 22, or 33, that's pretty good. But the reason it's pretty good, and I wouldn't say it's like all up and up, is because master numbers are amplifiers. The 11 is an amplifier for sure, and 11's within the 22 and 33 anyway, so you'll get the concept just from this one description. If you have a master number as your expression, you're meaning your name number, and then your life path is 8, everything you karmically do will be even more amplified than even me. Meaning like you have to be extremely righteous, because if you're not, those numbers are going to crush you completely. And you're going to have an extremely debilitating life, and it can even result in death if you do certain things. So it's very high risk. So what you guys understand is this, is that the 8 is here to be a taskmaster to you, and it's here to train you to be the most self-actualized, best optimized version of yourself. The minute you understand that, it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with you as a person becoming the best version of yourself. It makes you have a different perspective on what the 8 actually means. And then in turn, you then can use that to your advantage and say, okay, what's the best version of me? What would the best version of me do? What time would they wake up? What would they eat? What would their habits be? Where would they work? Where would they live? Who would surround this type of guy or this girl? Who is that? Like, well, how does that operate? So the more you can actually delve into being that authentic best version of yourself, is the more likely you're going to be successful as a life path 8. But if you're not doing those things, then you're going to have a very hard time as a life path 8, and you're going to actually get crushed. If you just look for money as a life path 8, you're not going to get anywhere at all. You're actually probably just going to get crushed. You might get fast money, because a final glitch I'll give you guys before I end the video is that 8s are very, very good at accumulating money. And other numerologists have alluded to this, I noticed in the past couple of years now. They say 8s are really good at getting lump sums of money. They can get money quick, but then they lose it just as quick. That's true. They get the rug pulled for sure, because the universe rug pulls it from them because of doing non-righteous actions. So the minute you start doing righteous actions and you fortify yourself in that way and set a good foundation for how you make your money and how you accumulate your power, then you're going to be untouchable, because Saturn's going to protect you. The universe itself will protect you because you're in the right side of karma. But the minute you start doing things that are unjustified, or you're just doing things that are just covetous, or just you're going into the more of the dark sides of your mind, you'll start to realize that your intentions mean a lot. If you're doing things just for the sake of being evil, you're not going to have good luck as an 8. You might get momentarily good luck, meaning you might actually accumulate some money. Heck, you could get even a couple mil, but you'll lose it very, very quickly. So it's better off that you do things in the righteous way and have balance, and actually make sure that you're spiritually healthy and you're also financially abundant. If you're spiritually unhealthy, meaning you have a lot of karmic debts that you're going to have to go through, and you accumulate some money, you're going to get crushed. Either you're going to see yourself get crushed in this lifetime or in another reincarnation, or you'll see it even through your children. So you got to be so careful, guys. With the 8, it's an amplified version of karma, and on the side it's infinity. So you just got to make sure that you keep your karma clean, that slate clean, so you can actually accumulate abundance in your life. But the 2 main things I want you guys to get from this video is this. 1, the 8 has nothing to do with money. The 8 has nothing to do with power, any of that. It has to do with you within, going through a journey of being the most self-actualized version of yourself. The minute you actually realize that is the minute you will win as an 8, because you're going to let go of the external detachment and focus on the internal and what you're actually putting out there. And that's when you start to win. And then the next thing, of course, is that your karma is amplified. So when you do things that are good things are going to befall you very quickly. You do things that are bad, same exact thing. You saw what I said for the exceptions. If you have a karmic debt, you might have to do a little bit more good to get the results. If you have a master number, you have to do less. You'll manifest very, very quickly with the expression number. And then if you have a regular expression number, like just 1 to 9, no karmic debt, then you have that neutrality with the 8, where you can create either abundance in your life or scarcity, depending on your decisions. I would arguably say having an expression number that's just a regular 1 to 9 is the best. Having a master number there makes you have to put yourself to a very high criteria where you might not be able to fit the bill right away, especially at a young age where you want to try different things and your mind might not be mature enough yet to deal with that set energy. All right, so that does finalize the video for today, guys. If you have any questions for me, especially if you're an 8, hit me up in those comments. Aside from that, like, subscribe, holla at me. That's it for today, guys. Peace.